My wife stole my entire retirement fund. The judge made her sell everything to pay me back. Before watching this video, tell us in the comments from where you are watching this. My name is Marcus Chen, and I am 52 years old. I live in Seattle, where I work as a software engineer. I have been coding and building systems for 25 years now. My job requires long hours, but the pay has always been good. I started saving for retirement when I was just 27 years old. Every month, I put money away for my future golden years. I wanted to retire comfortably and travel with my wife, Sarah. We met at a coffee shop downtown back in 2003. She was working as a marketing coordinator for a small business then. Sarah had beautiful brown eyes and the sweetest smile I had ever seen. We talked for hours about our dreams and future plans together. She wanted to start her own consulting business someday back then. I was immediately attracted to her intelligence and business sense she showed. We started dating and fell in love within just 6 months. I proposed to her on a beach vacation in Hawaii that year. She said yes, and we planned a beautiful wedding for spring. Our wedding day was perfect, with family and friends celebrating with us. We bought a small house in a quiet neighborhood after the honeymoon. Sarah quit her job to focus on building her consulting business. I supported her decision because I believed in her entrepreneurial spirit. My salary was enough to cover our mortgage and living expenses. She worked hard trying to get clients for her new business. Some months were better than others for her consulting work income. I never minded supporting us financially during those early business years. Sarah was my partner, and I wanted her dreams to succeed. We were a team working toward our shared future goals together. Years passed. My career continued growing at the technology company. I got promoted to senior engineer and then to team lead. My salary increased significantly with each promotion I received at work. Sarah's business had some success, but never became really profitable long term. She eventually decided to focus on managing our household instead. I was happy because it meant less stress for her. She took care of our home while I focused on work. This arrangement worked perfectly for both of us during those years. I trusted Sarah completely with every aspect of our marriage. She was smart and organized with all household management tasks. Sarah handled our bills and kept track of our expenses monthly. I gave her access to our checking account for convenience. She never spent money frivolously and always consulted me on purchases. Sarah seemed to understand money management better than I did. I was grateful to have such a responsible wife. My focus stayed on advancing my career and earning more money. Sarah took care of everything else at home for us both. By our 10th anniversary, we had built a comfortable life together. My retirement account had grown to over $100,000. Sarah suggested we should buy a bigger house in suburbia. I agreed because my income could support a larger mortgage payment. We found a beautiful 4-bedroom home with a big backyard. Sarah was excited about having more space for entertaining guests. I was proud to provide such a nice home for us. Our new neighborhood had great schools, even though we had children. Sarah said it would be good for future resale value. The next 10 years flew by as I continued working hard. My retirement savings kept growing steadily with each monthly contribution. Sarah managed our household budget and seemed happy with life. We took nice vacations every year to different destinations around the world. Sarah always planned these trips and handled all the booking details. I appreciated not having to worry about travel arrangements after work. She was excellent at finding good deals on hotels and flights. Our life felt stable and secure during those comfortable years together. Sarah suggested she should handle all our investment decisions going forward. She said I was too busy with work to research stocks. I agreed because she seemed interested in learning about financial markets. Sarah spent hours reading investment books and watching finance shows. She talked about diversifying our portfolio and maximizing our returns. I was impressed by her dedication to understanding our finances. Sarah opened several new investment accounts in both our names. She said this would help us save more money taxes. I signed all the paperwork she put in front of me. Sarah explained each document was for our financial benefit together. My company offered automatic retirement contributions through direct deposit every month. Sarah suggested she should manage these contributions for better investment options. She said the company's default investment choices were not optimal. I trusted her research and agreed to let her handle it. Sarah completed all the paperwork to redirect my retirement contributions. She opened new accounts with higher yield investment opportunities available. I signed power of attorney forms so she could manage everything. Sarah assured me this would help our money grow faster. I was grateful she was taking such good care. Sarah started receiving all our financial statements in the mail. She organized everything in a filing system in her office. I rarely looked at the statements because they seemed complicated. Sarah would give me brief updates about our investment performance. She always said everything was going well and growing steadily. I felt relieved knowing she was monitoring our finances closely. Sarah seemed to enjoy learning about different investment strategies and options. She would share interesting facts she learned from financial news. I appreciated having such a knowledgeable partner handling our money. Sarah took over paying all our monthly bills from the accounts. She set up automatic payments for our mortgage and utilities. I no longer had to worry about due dates, deadlines. Sarah created a household budget that tracked all our expenses. She showed me spreadsheets with our income and spending patterns. Everything looked organized and well managed to my eyes then. Sarah suggested we should increase our monthly investment contributions significantly. I agreed because my salary had increased with my promotion. She handled all the paperwork to increase our savings rate. Sarah started making investment decisions without consulting me on details. She said the market moved too fast for lengthy discussions. I trusted her judgment because she studied finance more than me. Sarah would tell me after she made trades investments. She always had good reasons for her investment choices. I felt confident knowing she was actively managing our portfolio. Sarah seemed excited about the opportunities she was finding. She talked about beating the market with her strategies. I was proud of how much she had learned. My retirement account statements showed consistent growth over the years. Sarah would highlight the positive returns when showing me updates. I felt secure knowing our nest egg was growing steadily. Sarah suggested we should consolidate all our accounts for efficiency. She said this would reduce fees and simplify management. I agreed because it made sense to streamline everything together. Sarah handled all the account transfers and consolidation paperwork efficiently. She assured me this would maximize our investment returns going forward. I signed whatever documents she needed to complete the process. Sarah became the primary contact for all our financial institutions. She said this would prevent confusion and streamline all communications. I was happy to let her handle all the calls. Sarah dealt with investment advisors and account representatives for us. She seemed comfortable discussing complex financial topics with the professionals. I felt lucky to have such a capable wife. Sarah would update me on any important changes or decisions. She always seemed to have everything under control perfectly. I focused on my career while she managed our finances. Our marriage started falling apart after 20 years of being together. Sarah became distant and started arguments over small things at home. She began staying out late without explaining where she went. I suspected she might be having an affair with someone. We decided to file for divorce after months of fighting. The divorce process required us to list all our assets. I needed to check our retirement accounts for the paperwork. Sarah seemed nervous when I mentioned checking the account balances. I logged into my retirement account for the first time. The balance showed $3,000 instead of $200,000. I stared at the computer screen in complete shock and disbelief. My hands started shaking as I refreshed the page multiple times. The balance remained the same, horribly low number every time. I felt like someone had punched me in the stomach. 25 years of saving had apparently vanished into thin air. My retirement dreams crumbled in that single devastating moment of discovery. I could not breathe properly as panic set in quickly. Sarah walked into the room and saw me staring frantically. She asked what was wrong, but I could not speak. My entire future had disappeared while I trusted her completely. I called the investment company immediately to report the error. The representative pulled up my account history on phone. She explained there had been multiple large withdrawals over years. Each withdrawal was authorized by Sarah using her power attorney. The representative read me the withdrawal dates and amounts slowly. $15,000 here and $20,000 there repeatedly. Sarah had systematically drained my entire retirement fund over time. The representative confirmed all withdrawals were legal and properly authorized. I hung up the phone feeling completely destroyed and betrayed. I confronted Sarah about the missing money right after the call. She claimed she had invested the money in business opportunities. Sarah said the investments had failed and lost all money. I demanded to see proof of these supposed failed investments. She could not provide any documentation or evidence of investments. Sarah started crying and said she was trying to help. I knew she was lying about everything she was telling. Her tears seemed fake and manipulative to me then. I realized my wife had stolen my entire life savings. Sarah admitted she had used some money for personal expenses. She said it was just temporary borrowing from our joint assets. I demanded to know exactly where every dollar had gone. Sarah claimed she could not remember all the specific details. She said some went to home repairs and family emergencies. I knew we had not had any major emergencies recently. Sarah's explanations kept changing every time I asked her questions. She seemed to be making up excuses as we talked. I realized she had planned this theft for a time. I searched through Sarah's personal belongings, looking for evidence of spending. I found receipts for expensive jewelry I had never seen. There were credit card statements showing luxury purchases and trips. Sarah had been living a secret lifestyle with my money. I discovered she had bought designer clothes and handbags regularly. Restaurant receipts showed expensive dinners at places we never together. Sarah had been spending my retirement money on herself secretly. I felt sick realizing how she had deceived me completely. My trust had been abused in the worst possible way. Sarah tried to minimize the severity of what she had done. She said we were married so the money belonged both. I explained that stealing retirement funds was different from expenses. Sarah acted like I was overreacting to a simple misunderstanding. She said she would pay the money back somehow, eventually. I knew she had no way to repay $200. Sarah's casual attitude about the theft made me even angrier. She showed no remorse for destroying my retirement security completely. I realized I was married to a stranger who betrayed. The reality of my situation hit me like a freight train. I was 52 years old with almost no retirement savings. I would have to work many more years than planned. My dreams of early retirement were completely destroyed by theft. Sarah had stolen my financial security and future, comfort away. I felt overwhelmed by the enormity of her betrayal completely. 25 years of trust and sacrifice meant nothing her. She had used my love against me to steal money. I knew I needed help to recover my stolen retirement. I could not sleep that night as anger consumed my thoughts. Sarah acted like nothing serious had happened between us today. She watched television while I sat in shock and disbelief. I realized our entire marriage had been built on lies. Sarah had been planning this theft for years while smiling. I felt like a fool for trusting her so completely. My retirement account was empty, and my marriage was over. I needed to find a way to get my money back. The investment company sent me complete withdrawal records by email. I printed everything and spread the papers across dining table. The withdrawals started 3 years ago with $15,000. Then $20,000 6 months later from the account. Another $18,000 disappeared the following year after that. The pattern continued with regular large withdrawals every few months. Sarah had been systematically draining my retirement fund slowly. She withdrew amounts that would not trigger immediate attention. This was clearly planned theft over a long time period. I confronted Sarah again with the printed withdrawal records evidence. She claimed the money went to pay for her mother's care. I knew her mother lived independently and did need care. Sarah then said it was for home repairs we needed. I pointed out we had not done any major repairs. She changed her story to say it was investments. Sarah could not keep her lies straight when questioned closely. I demanded she show me proof of where money went. She said all the paperwork was lost or misplaced somewhere. I found Sarah's personal credit card statements hidden in a drawer. The statements showed expensive purchases I had never seen before. Designer purses costing $3,000 each were bought regularly. There were charges for luxury spa treatments and vacations. Sarah had spent thousands at high-end restaurants and bars. I recognized none of these purchases from our life together. She had been living a completely secret lifestyle with money. The credit card bills totaled over $40,000 alone. This was just one card among several she had hidden. I discovered Sarah had opened multiple credit cards in name. She had been using my retirement money to pay bills. The statements showed cash advances and balance transfers regularly happening. Sarah was using stolen retirement funds to support her spending. She had created a complex system of moving money around. I found evidence of at least 6 different credit cards. Each card had high balances that were being paid retirement. Sarah had been juggling debt using my stolen life savings. I tried to track down more evidence of Sarah's spending. I found receipts for jewelry and expensive clothing items everywhere. There were hotel receipts from cities I had never visited. Sarah had been taking trips without telling me about them. The receipts showed she was not traveling alone either clearly. Someone else was staying in these hotel rooms with her. I realized Sarah was funding an affair with retirement money. She was supporting another man while stealing from our future. I hired a forensic accountant named Jennifer Walsh to investigate thoroughly. Jennifer specialized in tracking stolen money in divorce cases like mine. She requested access to all our bank accounts and statements. I gave her power of attorney to access everything needed. Jennifer said she would trace every dollar that had disappeared. She explained forensic accounting could uncover hidden financial transactions and assets. Jennifer warned me the investigation might reveal uncomfortable truths about Sarah. I told her I needed to know everything regardless. She started her investigation immediately after our first meeting together. Jennifer traced how Sarah spent the money from her account. $30,000 went to expensive jewelry purchases over months. Sarah had bought diamond earrings and gold bracelets regularly there. Another $25,000 paid for luxury vacations alone. The vacation receipts showed Sarah traveled with a man, Robert. Jennifer found hotel rooms booked for 2 people consistently. Sarah had been funding her affair with my retirement. Robert was her boyfriend who benefited from my stolen money. Jennifer had photographs of receipts proving this relationship and spending. Jennifer discovered Sarah had given Robert $40,000 directly. The money was transferred to Robert's business account in payments. Robert owned a small construction company that was failing financially. Sarah had been supporting his failing business with money. Jennifer found invoices for work Robert never actually performed us. Sarah had created fake business transactions to justify the payments. This was money laundering using my stolen retirement funds clearly. Robert and Sarah had conspired together to steal from me. Jennifer had evidence of their criminal partnership in this scheme. Jennifer found gambling records showing Sarah had lost significant amounts. Sarah had been going to the casino twice. She lost over $30,000 gambling and won. Jennifer discovered Sarah had a serious gambling addiction problem recently. The casino records showed increasing bets and bigger losses time. Sarah was using my retirement money to fund her addiction. She had been lying about her gambling while stealing. Jennifer explained gambling addiction often leads to financial crimes theft. Sarah had stolen my future to pay for destructive habit. Jennifer uncovered more evidence of Sarah's deceptive financial behavior over. Sarah had taken out loans using our house as collateral. She borrowed $20,000 without telling me about it. The loan documents showed Sarah forged my signature on paperwork. Jennifer found 3 different loans Sarah had taken secretly recently. All the loan money had gone into Sarah's secret account. Sarah had been stealing and borrowing money from sources. She had put our house at risk with loans. Jennifer said this was additional evidence of financial fraud completely. Jennifer discovered Sarah had been planning to disappear with money. Sarah had researched moving to another state with Robert recently. Jennifer found travel websites and apartment listings on computer. Sarah had been looking at places to live Robert. She had withdrawn large amounts of cash from account. Jennifer believed Sarah was planning to leave me broke. The evidence showed Sarah intended to start anew elsewhere. She had been preparing her escape while still me. Jennifer said this proved premeditated theft and abandonment planning clearly. Jennifer presented me with a complete financial report of findings. The report documented every stolen dollar and where it went. Sarah had stolen exactly $200,000 from account. $60,000 went to funding her affair with Robert directly. $30,000 was lost to gambling at the local casino. $25,000 paid for luxury items and vacations together. The remaining money went to loans and cash withdrawals recently. Jennifer had traced every single dollar with documentary evidence supporting. She said this was the strongest case of theft. Jennifer explained I had multiple legal options for recovery now. The evidence proved Sarah committed theft and fraud against me. I could file criminal charges and civil lawsuits against both. Jennifer recommended I hire an attorney immediately to proceed legally. She said the evidence was overwhelming and would succeed court. I felt relieved finally knowing the complete truth about betrayal. Jennifer had uncovered Sarah's crimes with professional thoroughness and skill. I was ready to fight for my stolen money back. I hired attorney David Rodriguez, who specialized in financial fraud cases. David reviewed Jennifer's forensic report and said the evidence was excellent. He explained Sarah had committed multiple crimes, including theft and forgery. David said I could file both criminal and civil cases. The criminal case would send Sarah to jail potentially for years. The civil case would help me recover my stolen money. David recommended we pursue both options simultaneously for maximum impact. He said the evidence was strong enough to win both. I authorized David to proceed with filing all necessary paperwork. David filed criminal referral papers with the district attorney's office. The DA would decide whether to prosecute Sarah for crimes. David said the evidence made prosecution very likely to happen. He explained criminal cases were handled by the state government. I would be a witness in the criminal proceedings only. David said criminal conviction would help my civil case significantly. The criminal charges included theft and money laundering against both. David expected the DA to file charges within weeks' time. David prepared civil lawsuit papers against Sarah and Robert together. The lawsuit demanded full repayment, plus interest and legal fees entirely. David said we could claim Sarah's house as collateral payment. The house was purchased partly with my stolen retirement money. David explained this gave me legal claim to the property. Sarah's house was worth approximately $350,000. This would be enough to cover my losses and costs. David said judges often ordered asset sales in cases. David discovered Sarah had violated her fiduciary duty as wife. Married couples have legal obligations to protect each other's assets. Sarah had breached this duty by stealing my retirement money. David explained this made her liable for additional damages beyond. He said the court would likely award punitive damages too. Punitive damages were designed to punish Sarah for her crimes. David estimated total damages could reach $300,000. This included my stolen money, plus penalties and legal costs. David prepared detailed financial exhibits for the court proceedings ahead. Jennifer's forensic report would be presented as primary evidence completely. David organized bank records and receipts chronologically for maximum impact. He created charts showing exactly where every dollar went clearly. David said visual evidence was very effective in court. He prepared photographs of Sarah's luxury purchases and vacation receipts. David also had evidence of her gambling losses and affairs. He said this would show Sarah's pattern of deception. David explained how marital asset laws worked in our state. Sarah could not claim the retirement money as marital property. Retirement accounts had special protections under federal law completely. Sarah had no legal right to withdraw my retirement money. David said her power of attorney did not authorize theft. He explained the difference between managing money and stealing it. Sarah had clearly crossed legal boundaries with her actions repeatedly. David said any reasonable judge would rule in favor. David filed motions requesting expedited court hearings for our case. He said waiting too long might allow Sarah to escape. David wanted the court to act quickly on our evidence. He filed requests for immediate asset seizure and account freezing. David also requested the court order Sarah to appear immediately. He said she might try to leave the state otherwise. David filed papers in both state and federal court. He wanted maximum legal pressure on Sarah and Robert both. David prepared me for what to expect during legal proceedings. He said I would need to testify about our marriage. David explained I should stick to facts and evidence only. He said emotional testimony was less effective than hard evidence. David warned me that Sarah's lawyer would try to attack. He said they might claim the money was marital property. David prepared responses to every possible defense Sarah might use. He was confident we would win based on evidence available. The court hearing was scheduled for 9 a.m. on Tuesday morning. I arrived early with David to prepare for the proceedings. Judge Martinez was known for being tough on financial fraud. The courtroom was filled with lawyers and other divorce cases. Sarah arrived with her attorney 30 minutes before the hearing. She looked nervous and avoided making eye contact with. Robert was also present because he was named defendant too. David had organized all our evidence in neat binders, clearly. I felt confident because we had such strong proof theft. Judge Martinez called our case to order at exactly a.m. David presented our opening statement about Sarah's systematic theft of money. He explained how Sarah had stolen $200,000. David showed the judge Jennifer's complete forensic accounting report with evidence. The judge reviewed the bank records and withdrawal patterns carefully. David presented evidence of Sarah's secret account and luxury spending. He showed photos of expensive jewelry and vacation receipts clearly. The judge examined each piece of evidence with serious attention. Sarah's attorney tried to argue the money was marital property. He claimed Sarah had the right to manage our investments. David immediately objected and cited federal retirement account laws precisely. The judge agreed that retirement funds had special legal protections. Sarah's lawyer then claimed she used the money for expenses. David presented evidence showing luxury purchases and affair funding instead. The judge looked annoyed at Sarah's lawyer's weak arguments there. Sarah's attorney seemed unprepared for the overwhelming evidence we presented. I testified about trusting Sarah with our finances for years. I explained how I worked hard to save retirement money. I described discovering the empty account during our divorce proceedings. David asked me specific questions about Sarah's lies and deception. I testified about finding evidence of her secret spending patterns. The judge listened carefully to my testimony about the betrayal. I remained calm and factual during my time witness. Sarah's attorney tried to make me seem controlling but failed. Sarah was called to testify about her actions and decisions. She claimed she intended to replace the money eventually somehow. Sarah said the withdrawals were temporary loans to herself only. The judge asked her to explain the luxury purchases evidence. Sarah claimed she deserved nice things after years of sacrifice. Judge Martinez looked skeptical at Sarah's explanations and reasoning completely. Sarah could not explain where the remaining money had gone. She admitted to giving Robert money for his business ventures. Sarah's testimony contradicted her lawyer's arguments about marital expenses clearly. Robert testified about receiving money from Sarah over the months. He claimed the payments were legitimate business loans from her. David presented evidence showing no actual work was performed us. Robert could not produce invoices or contracts for the work. The judge asked Robert about his relationship with Sarah personally. Robert admitted they were romantically involved during the time period. Judge Martinez noted this created a conflict of interest clearly. Robert's testimony proved Sarah was funding her affair with money. David presented evidence of Sarah's gambling addiction to the court. The casino records showed $30,000 in losses recently. Sarah's attorney objected, but the evidence was already submitted legally. The judge reviewed the gambling records with obvious disapproval there. David explained how gambling addiction led to more stealing. Sarah looked embarrassed as her gambling was exposed publicly completely. The judge asked Sarah directly about her gambling problem. She admitted to having issues controlling her gambling behavior recently. Judge Martinez reviewed all the evidence during a brief recess. The judge returned with a stern expression on his face. He stated that Sarah had clearly committed theft and fraud. Judge Martinez said the evidence was overwhelming and undeniable completely. He ruled that Sarah must repay the full amount. The judge ordered Sarah to pay $200,000 plus. He also awarded punitive damages of $25,000. Judge Martinez ordered Sarah to pay all my legal fees. The judge made his most important ruling about asset recovery. He ordered Sarah to sell her house within 60 days. The house sale proceeds would go directly to paying judgment. Judge Martinez said Sarah could not delay or avoid payment. He threatened jail time if Sarah did not comply fully. The judge also ordered wage garnishment if Sarah worked anywhere. Judge Martinez made it clear he would not tolerate delays. Sarah started crying when she heard about selling her house. Judge Martinez warned Sarah about attempting to hide any assets. He said violation of his orders would result in jail. The judge scheduled follow-up hearings to monitor compliance with orders. Sarah's attorney requested time to appeal the ruling unsuccessfully there. Judge Martinez denied the request and said the evidence justified. I felt incredible relief and satisfaction hearing the judge's ruling. Justice had been served and my money would be returned. Sarah looked defeated as we left the courtroom that day. Sarah reluctantly put her house on the market within weeks. She had no choice but to comply with the order. The house was listed for $350,000. Multiple buyers showed interest in the property within days of listing. Sarah's real estate agent worked quickly to arrange showings and offers. I monitored the sale process through David to ensure compliance. Sarah could not delay or manipulate the sale in way. The judge's order gave her no room to avoid payment. Within 45 days, Sarah accepted a cash offer completely. The house sale closed exactly 57 days after the order. Sarah received $348,000 from sale. The court ordered the money to go directly to David's account. David immediately transferred $225,000 to me. This covered my stolen retirement money plus interest and fees. I also received the $25,000 punitive damage. Sarah was left with about $90,000 from sale. She had to find a new place to live immediately. I felt satisfaction knowing justice had been served through system. I deposited the recovered money back into my retirement account. Seeing the balance restored felt incredibly rewarding after months of stress. I had lost almost 2 years of growth but principle. My retirement dreams were back on track thanks to system. I changed all my passwords and removed Sarah's access completely. I also revoked her power of attorney immediately after settlement. I would never again give anyone complete control over finances. This expensive lesson taught me the importance of financial oversight always. I implemented strict new financial security measures for my future. I hired a fee-only financial advisor to help management. I diversified my investments across multiple institutions to reduce risk. I set up alerts for any withdrawals over 1,000. I decided to review all statements monthly going forward personally. I also created a separate emergency fund, Sarah Access. These measures would protect me from future financial betrayal completely. I learned that trust must be earned and verified regularly. Sarah moved into a small apartment across town after settlement. She lost her comfortable lifestyle and social status from theft. Robert's business failed completely without my stolen money supporting it. Their relationship ended when the money ran out predictably there. Sarah had to find a job for the time. She was working as a receptionist, making minimum wage. Her gambling addiction had destroyed her financial future permanently now. I felt no sympathy for the consequences of her choices. I started dating again 1 year after the divorce finalized. I was cautious about trusting women with my personal information. I kept my finances completely separate from any romantic relationships. I learned to enjoy my independence and financial security again. I took vacations that I had always wanted to. I bought a smaller house that I could afford easily. I felt proud of rebuilding my life after Sarah's betrayal. I share my story with other men facing similar situations. Many men give their wives complete financial control without oversight. I warn them about the dangers of blind financial trust. I recommend that couples maintain some financial independence always together. I suggest regular financial meetings to discuss money and investments. I advise men to stay involved in retirement planning decisions. Tell them that love does not excuse financial negligence. I learned valuable lessons about marriage and money from experience. Trust is important, but verification is essential for financial security. Marriage does not eliminate the need for personal financial awareness. Power of attorney should have limits and regular review requirements. Retirement accounts need special protection from potential theft or misuse. Financial transparency should be required in all serious relationships going. 2 years later, I am financially secure and emotionally healed. My retirement account has grown beyond its original balance significantly. I am dating a wonderful woman who respects boundaries. I feel grateful that the legal system protected my rights. Sarah's theft ultimately made me stronger and wiser about relationships. I hope my story helps other men protect their futures. If you found this story of justice satisfying, please the like button. If you have questions about protecting your retirement, similar experiences, share them in the comments below. Share this if you know someone who needs to hear financial vigilance in marriage. Subscribe for more real-life stories. The legal system delivers justice. Remember, never give anyone complete control over financial future, no matter how much you love them.